And now for something completely different. We have a special guest today, guys, and he promised to answer all your questions about ninjas in the comments. So leave lots of questions, or just let us know if you enjoyed the video. He's a pretty prolific author, but I'll let him introduce himself.
Hi everyone, welcome to this video. I'm your host for today and I'm Antony Cummins. I'm the official tourist ambassador for Wakayama. I'm an author and I'm a historical researcher on the subject of ninja, shinobi and the samurai of Japan. Now what I'm going to do today is take you through and tell you exactly what ninja and ninjutsu is. But we're doing this in support of my newest book, which is this one here. And it's called Ninja Skills and it's by Watkins. Now this will tell you all about the skills ninja used, and all of it is based on original medieval documents. So you can get it by clicking the link below and getting yourself a copy. Now you may have heard, you may have seen, and especially on this channel, videos about did the ninja exist, did they not exist? Well, it depends how you define ninja. Originally, they were called shinobi no mono, which is the same ideograms, it's just said in a different way. The first appearance of ninja comes in the year 1375, or around then, when the Taiheki was written. And it's the first time the word shinobi is used to reference somebody who does something in stealth. Now, of course, from there we get the warring period of Japan. Now, this is where the ninja come into their height and they're used the most. However, we have next to no record of that, which makes people say, oh, did they or didn't they exist? Now, there are records from this date, however, the records are contested because later on they were transcribed or rewritten or added to or edited. The problems that causes is they say, okay, they've changed some of the ideograms to change this, so we can't count it. But those documents do exist, but they're not counted because they were in the wars, and there's lots of documents that are retranscribed and they're just too old to use, and the originals are thrown away or burned. That's why we have literally nothing that talks about the ninja in that period. But then you hit the period of peace where everybody's writing and everybody's collecting information. So what we have is a really impressive document that appears in about 1612 to 1619. And it says the words, it says ninja, well, shinobi no mono, and it says shinobi are used. They are used from Iga, they are from Koka. It's called the Gunpo Jyoshu. And it was written by a high-ranking retainer who had no interest in pushing forward the ninja myth. He was not interested in that. He wrote exactly what he did in the wars and what was done, and this was checked by none other than Tokugawa Ieyasu, who said, this is a great book, let's give it to all my samurai. So the first solid evidence that is non-contested, nobody can say it's wrong, comes from 1612, literally just after the wars, and it says this is a ninja, this is what they do, and this is, you know, how they work. So we know that shinobi existed in the warring states period, but the problem is the information comes from just after it, and then we get this massive boost of information, thousands and thousands of references to ninja, shinobi, and they all talk about, you know, they're from Iga, they're from Koka, or they're from here, or they do this, but they're usually not written by ninja. So where do we get the information for ninjutsu? Now, so the kanji is here, this is ninja or shinobi no mono, which means person of stealth. But then we get ninjutsu, which is skills of creeping in, skills of stealth. So where do we get this information from? Well, there's a collection of ninja scrolls in Japan. They are either in public libraries, they're in private libraries, or they're in personal collections. However, they're at different various levels, and nearly all of them are from the Edo period. That's from about 1603 onwards, and that's when people say, oh, maybe it didn't exist because people would just write period of peace. People just write in it, you know, they write anything. So finding out what the ninja actually did is one of the most difficult tasks because you have to check everything and check it against all the other ones. But this boils down to some of the main ninja scrolls. So the first one, the biggest one, is called the Bansen Shukai, sometimes Mansen Shukai. Now this is the biggest ninja scroll there ever was. It was written in 1676 and it goes through everything. We've translated this into English and it's over 500 pages long. Now after this you get the Shoninki. Now the Shoninki, which means true account of the shinobi, the Shoninki is a very detailed, in-depth look at the ninja, but it's very esoteric. But it has been used in Japan for 100 years to outline what the shinobi are. Now there's another one of what's considered the 3 great ninja manuals. This is allegedly written by Hattori Hanzo in the 1500s, but lots of people dispute that because they say, oh, Hattori Hanzo's too famous, or, you know, it becomes problematic, and they say, oh, that's not correct. The problem is it comes in multiple volumes, and it is actually dated different dates on the volumes. So my theory is that what happened was, in this family, it was passed on and people wrote different things, and it was later put together. The best version we've got for a beginner in ninjutsu is actually a set of scrolls from Chikamatsu Shigenori. Now, Chikamatsu Shigenori was alive in the 1700s, and he was a samurai, and he was like, okay, I need to record this ninja information. So he went and studied both Iga Ninja and Koka Ninja, and what he did is studied from them and studied their ninjutsu, and he wrote it all down. Well, actually, he wrote 70% down, and he said the other 30% remains oral tradition. He is one of our best examples of ninjutsu because he's got no reason to sort of lie about it. He just goes in and says, I'm going to take from 2 ninja masters, pull them together, and find out, you know, exactly what ninjutsu is. So, what is ninjutsu? It's very, very difficult to actually say what ninjutsu is. It's more of an intent, but it does have a set of skills. So, Shinobi no Mono in Japan is a person from any social level. They can be local thieves, they can be foot soldiers, they can be samurai, they can be high-ranking samurai. And each one of them, if they are pushed into the world of the ninja, or they do a job as a ninja, even if it's temporarily, they become Shinobi no Mono. They become ninja. But each one of them has a different form of job to do. So, if you go to battle and you go on to a military campaign and you go into enemy areas, what you do is you find the local thieves and you say to them, instead of stealing from our men, instead of breaking into our camp, or instead of breaking in back home, join us, we'll give you money, and you go and thieve from the enemy. Go and attack the enemy household. Go and make a problem. So you get your local thieves or bandits to become shinobi. And they go out and do their job, they get paid for it, and they steal, and they're very happy. But ancient documents tell us that you don't mind these people, because if they die, nobody cares. And they're not robbing from you, they're robbing from the enemy, which is great. Next you get foot soldiers. Now these guys, they will go band together, and if they're trained in the ways of the ninja, they'll go into the enemy castles, they'll grappling hook over, they'll do night raids, they'll do ambushes. Now of course then you get people who are specialised. They've got only one job, and that's a warrior, and they're samurai, and they're from a shinobi family. They're from a family that study shinobi full time. Now these guys are brilliant. These are the guys who have learned everything they can. They are very intelligent, they speak multiple dialects, they're good at disguise, they've got good memory, they're robust. It says that a shinobi should look stupid but be robust, meaning that they can survive nights in the wilderness, they can sit in the snow for days, and then when people see them, they're like, oh, he looks stupid, you know, big ears, and like often nobody cares, they just, yeah, and he pretends to be an idiot. Nobody cares, but inside he's very clever, and he's capturing everything that's being said. Now, Shinobi no Jutsu, the way of the shinobi, divides into 2 sections. You get In no Shinobi, which means shinobi of the dark, and Yo no Shinobi, shinobi of the light. General terms, this means In no Shinobi means those who do everything you imagine. They creep in, they set fires, they kill people, they kill guards, they're getting over walls, they're digging under, they're creating tunnels, they're doing all this type of thing to get into the enemy. Now, Shinobi of the light are those who go in disguise. They change their hairline, they change their facial hair, they put things in their mouth to look different, they dye their teeth, they will starve themselves a week on end, they'll cover themselves in crap, they'll do all sorts of stuff just to walk among the enemy and not be seen by them, you know, not be like a threat. Or these shinobi of the light also will go and work in the enemy area for years in advance. They'll become shopkeepers, they'll become samurai on the enemy payroll, they'll become, you know, hired by the enemy, and then when war comes, they will not be thrown out because everybody's used to, you know, Bob at the corner who sells like sweets to children. Everybody's used to him, so they just leave him where he is because his lord knew they were going to go to war in 2 years, so he puts him in place. To counter this, many people say get rid of them. Anybody who's not been there as a generational retainer, get rid of them. They say to stop ninjas infiltrating, instead of spending on gold and luxury items, just hire your solid standing army and make sure that they stay there. Otherwise, you're always going to get ninja. So what we've got there is two types of ninjutsu, two types of shinobi no jutsu. You've got disguise and infiltration. Now, the disguise people learn how to change their appearance. They learn how to do different dialects and blend in. They learn all the local spots of all the different areas. They have a great capacity for mental imagery. They will map out everything in their mind, go home and write it down. They have great memory. They copy handwriting. They will learn the different ways that the different lords speak or what they say, so that when they make fake letters, they can use the same words that they would use, so it looks plausible. And they bring all this information back to headquarters. Now, the other guys, the ninja of the dark, they are skilled in different things. They can swim really well. They can climb walls really well. They have a great knowledge of burglary, breaking and entering, lockpicking, soaring. They can, as I said, dig under things. They know how to poison dogs or how to befriend dogs. They track the moon in the sky and they check when is the best time to infiltrate. They listen for people snoring. They check, for example, how much work has been done. If it's a hot day and people have been working really hard, they'll infiltrate. But if the day is cool and people have not been working hard, they'll stand back. And they're masters of fire tools. They love fire. They've got explosives. They've got tars. They've got lots of things to bring about destruction on the enemy or ways to infiltrate them. So when we look at shinobi of history, what you're looking at, guys, is a collection of people from different levels of society who will then fit into different jobs inside of the samurai army, and at different times they go out. Before war, the people who have become planted agents go out. Just before war, just before, you send out long distance scouts and shinobi. In the war, the shinobi check just past the horizon to make sure that nothing bad is going to happen. They go further than the scouts. And when you get to the enemy castle or the enemy fortifications or camp, those are the people that creep in at night, set fire, burn it down while everybody else jumps in and attacks. That is basically what shinobi do. Now, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please, if you want to know how to perform shinobi no jutsu, ninjutsu, get a copy of the book, which is Ninja Skills. And if you'd like to follow me, there's some links below, and of course here on the screen are my details. I'm very happy and very privileged to have been your host today for this video, and I'm excited to look at your comments. I'm going to read them all and I'll answer when I can. Thank you very much, guys, and hopefully I'll see you again in a different video.
Hey, I hope you all enjoyed that. I have some minor disagreements with Antony Cummins about the ninja myth, but I mostly agree with him. I'll have a post for patrons on the Patreon page soon with some inside baseball. Check out the link in the description to Anthony's latest book called Ninja Skills, which contains what the ninja manuals written in the Edo period said about ninja techniques and such, and there are pictures. Some fun stuff in there if you're interested. Please, please, please leave some questions in the comments and let me know if you like this collab. Much love, guys. Now go out there and spread the knowledge.